about where we are now. In terms of where we are now, if we look at health, we have not done very badly. And in addition to the policies, I would add our record keeping and the fact that we have data. And I believe health is an area where we have done very well, health and education, in terms of data. So we know the number of children babies who are born every Christmas. GBC would, every year without fail, they'll tell you how many babies were born on Christmas Day. Yes, but more seriously, we have our population census. We get a lot of information data on that. We also have our demographic and health survey, multiple indicator cluster surveys, and through that, we are able to plan and we are able to strategize. And I believe that has helped us in advancing and providing the necessary support that we'll need. So even in terms of upgrading some hospitals, in terms of more nurses. And one of us mentioned, yes, Brigadier General. I believe I was in the University of Ghana with you. Yes, she was a year ahead of me in the University of Ghana. We were both in Volta Hall. Yes. So she also made mention of nurses who were resigning. Somebody made a mention of nurses who were resigning, and she also talked about we thinking about service. So that is also a challenge now. Nurses leaving for Canada, nurses leaving for United Kingdom, nurses leaving for America. In terms of human resource for healthcare, it is a challenge. And we need to look at how we are going to address that challenge. Will we think about exporting nurses and other healthcare providers for a fee, so that if why is it that government of Ghana would apply resources to train, and then after the training the nurses leave? That is a valid question we should ask. Because nurses also receive some allowances. You also want to improve upon yourself. That is true. So where do we create that balance? That is a question in assessing progress, in assessing advancement, that we need to ask ourselves, and the association together with our government and our healthcare provider need to provide answers.
I'm glad they both spoke about policies. UN Security Council Resolution 1325. Ghana in 2005, we came up with a national action plan for the implementation of the portion of the Security Council Resolution 1325, which is about placing women in positions that they can contribute to the decision-making process. We have had 2 national action plans, and I believe that with this, most of our policies are being gender mainstreamed. And when I talk about gender mainstreaming policies, what I mean is that the policies are made in such a way that the needs of every sex is taken into consideration. It doesn't favor just the men, which it used to do previously. We are changing a lot of laws. Like, I know that within the Ghana Armed Forces, all our regulations have been reviewed so that they are gender neutral. All the opportunities that are available to men are now available to women too. I was having a conversation with some American women, and they asked me what women in Ghana were doing about their salaries. Then I asked them, what should we do about our salaries? They said, oh, we have to think about bringing it at par with that of the men. And I told them, we don't have that problem in our country. You are paid according to your rank and your grade. So a man sitting in the same office as you, the woman, receives the same salary. They were shocked. That is one stage where Ghana, I think, has really advanced, and we should be very proud of ourselves.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. If there is no data, how can we conduct research to come out with findings to strengthen the health sector? And it all depends on documentation. When you document, it becomes a data. So she's encouraging us to do our documentation well and protect our data too in addition. Thank you very much. Brigadier, you are strong. So it will follow with another question. Please, your work setting. Your work setting. I just want you to tell us how you lead as a woman in your work setting to inspire us. Conclusion.
Thank you. This is quite a difficult question to answer because in my work setting, I'm not supposed to lead as a woman. I'm supposed to lead as an officer. And we are all trained in leadership. And you have to develop your own style of leading. One of you spoke about delegation, that you delegate to people because by doing that you strengthen them. I believe that to be able to lead inclusively, first you must examine yourself. You should be aware of your strengths and your weaknesses and use that in the workplace. And then also, luckily I'm a woman, so it is easy to be compassionate. Compassion helps a lot in the workplace. You listen to everyone. Listen actively. Because without listening actively, your actions do not reflect what you heard. By being compassionate, people tend to get close to you. So you learn a lot of things. Normally, as a leader, you hear what they want you to hear. But when you listen, you are compassionate. You are aware of what they are doing. You do self-examination all the time and correct as you go along. You realize that people approach you and the workplace is a better place for that. And I believe that a happy workforce is a more productive workforce. So you seek the welfare of your subordinates. And that is one way that I can say that I lead. So you can tell me something, because you were saying that your work setting is, so let's say because of the army and other things, you see a lot of people in uniform, but the civilians, tell me something. Actually, I am in charge of all the civilians in the Ghana Armed Forces right now, and I'm applying the same thing, the same method. I have what we call capos under me, and I have meetings with them. I listen to them, they bring their problems with me. I seek their welfare all the time. I make sure that there are welfare packages for them. As of now, I think Old Mutual Assurance, we have come to an agreement with them. So now they have death benefits, critical illness benefits. When they see you doing that, they feel better about working for you. So the civilians, I'm looking at.
Thank you very much.
Direct about it. Like you said, what's your passion? When we think about the remuneration, I bet you, if I tell you how much I'm earning after working for over 30 years, you tell me I'm lying. But we do what we do because of the passion for the job. So I think that once you are passionate about something, explore more, read more, find a niche of yourself and grow and develop yourself so that when they come to where your facilities and they are looking for experts in mental health, your name pops up. And if you are not there, hell break loose. Just specialize. We are going into a world where specialization is very critical.
Of the style of leadership. I think by age, it must have been 25 or so, or younger, I'd been called to the bar, and I was a lawyer. And in terms of leadership, I realized that managing the non-legal staff of the law firm I worked with was a bit problematic, because I was younger than like the secretaries, the receptionists, and all that. And naturally, I'm a very outgoing person. I'll joke and I'll play and all that. But then I learned that not everybody is able to draw the boundary. Like when you are being nice and maybe you have lunch together and all that, people are not able to draw the boundary and they extend it to work. So sometimes when you give them work, they may not do it on time and what have you. So I had to quickly learn to create that boundary and let them. So I realized that I needed to disconnect because looking at my age and all that, I needed to disconnect and make them see that there was that I was managing. So sometimes it was a bit difficult. Like I needed sometimes to be strict and to consciously create that boundary. So sometimes we may find, as women, especially sometimes when there are a lot of men and you're working and you are managing, you may need to adopt certain tactics. Now, there are a lot of opportunities. And I believe that Brigadier General also spoke about improving yourself. In fact, both spoke about improving yourself. I mean, after practicing law for a decade, I realized that my passion was human rights and that I needed to do a master's to be able to be more competent in the area of law I wanted to do. I mean, I even wanted to do a PhD, but the whole thought about writing and all that, and so many activities coming in. But you need to look at yourself 5 years. You need to plan 5 years ahead. So as we sit here, you should be able to visualize yourself 5 years. In 5 years' time, where do you want to be? In 5 years' time, where do you want to be? Recently, the managing director for EcoBank was appointed. She's also from Wesley Girls. I don't know if she's your mate. She's her mate, Abna. And we were some friends of mine were talking about women in the corporate sector and how many have been able to move to managing director. We have a director general. She just told us that she's in charge of all civilians for the Ghana Armed Forces. I'm sure she was strategic about her professional path. I was also strategic about my professional path. Some also are, but we need to be deliberate about where we want to go, what we want to specialize in. And if we want to be head, we need to be deliberate about how to get to the head and be ambitious. Now we have the opportunity of IT, of technology, of the internet, and there are several courses, and you can do long distance and all that. And don't wait. Time and tide. Don't wait. Do it now.
Or somewhere at your office, wherever you see it, remember us as nurses and midwives. So I will call on Nana Oyebampoado to please come up and receive this. The next part goes to Brigadier General Anita Asma, Director General, GHQ, DCE, Bemakam, who was our guest speaker. Dr. Mrs. Olivia Ejekumwa Boateng, Director of Tobacco and Substance of Abuse Directorate of FDA. and to our moderator, Mrs. Judith Esiama, Director, Nursing and Midwifery Service, UGMC. This is for you.
So for Riampofo, as the chairman for the planning committee,
for us in Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, in terms of commemorating International Women's Day 2024, I think the event that was put together by the planning committee has been wonderful. And I want to especially thank them before the vote of thanks even comes on. And of course, the media committee and all those who have helped in one way or the other to make this event a success. I will not attempt to summarize anything that has been said today. I hope and believe you were all taking notes. And at least, if you didn't remember everything, there should be one thing that each speaker said that you should be taking home. Okay? So our keynote speaker, Oye Bampoado, shared a lot when it comes to where we are as Ghana in terms of investment in women and how we've accelerated progress. And from all indications, we are on the right track, at least with the strides that we've made in education and other sectors. It is clear that inclusion of women and girls is ongoing, but there's still space, a lot of space for us to occupy when it comes to the politics, the corporate world, taking up those big positions. And I hope and pray that we'll all prepare ourselves to get there. And of course, the laws are there to protect women and girls. And she also talked about the role of our predecessors within the association and what they have done for us, leading the way for us to have come in to take over. And it's also good that in celebrating International Women's Day, we recognize the efforts they have made in the past. She has encouraged us to be an expert voice when it comes to nursing and midwifery in Ghana, and also increase innovations. And on this, I want to just let Nana Oye know that through our annual national awards, we are identifying nurses and midwives who are doing marvelously well in all areas of Ghana, especially in the rural, underserved, and deprived areas. And we are recognizing their efforts with awards. We instituted it in 2020, and every year in December, we meet at Kempinski Hotel and then have this award. So 15th December of this year, we'll be meeting there for the 5th Annual National Awards, and we'll be recognizing such nurses and midwives who have ensured innovation, even though they are challenged or limited in the resources that are available to them.